Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about the meaning of people in dreams. I want to talk to you in particular about father-mother dreams and about what different people represent. And I also want to tell you why sometimes people do not look the same in a dream. They take on the appearance of someone else. They look different. So first of all, what does your mother and father symbolize in a dream? Because these are very common dreams. We all dream about our parents, and we tend to think that they are actual dreams about our parents. And again, they could be, but most of the time, the dream language is symbolic. And so everything that you're seeing is a symbol, and it represents something else. And it's generally having to do with your life. A lot of people think they're having prophetic dreams for the end of the world, but I really believe that most of the time it's about your life. Like, those kind of dreams are super rare, and they can happen occasionally, but God is interested in communicating individual things to you through your dreams about your life and what you can do to make it better. Okay, so if I look over here, it's because I have my notes. So mother and father dreams. The father represents God. In my experience, think about it. God is the father of creation, okay? Father God. So when you dream about your father, usually it represents God's will for your life. On the other hand, your mother brought you into this world. She basically gave you life. And we think of Mother Nature. So your mother represents your life here on earth, which, by the way, could be different than God's will for your life. So typically, think of it like this. God has a will for your life, but you may not be living according to his will. So the father in the dream represents God's will, and then the mother represents kind of your own will or your own path that you have chosen here on earth. And so, for example, if you're dreaming that like they're not getting along or they're fighting, it is probably because there's a conflict and you're not carrying out what God would have you do in your life. You're in danger of not fulfilling God's will for your life. And so that's a warning for you to pray, to really reflect, and to get back in harmony with God's will for your life. It's a way where he's getting your attention. Also, if you dream about like a brother or a sister, that is something that's very close to you, right? So it could just represent something that's close to you. If you dream about a daughter or a son, it's something that you've created, a situation you've created. If you dream that like you're pregnant, it's something that you are creating in your life. So that leads me into, what do people symbolize? Usually people a lot of times will represent their characteristics. So if someone is, let's say, really stubborn, bullheaded, then they may represent like opposition, let's say. Someone who's jealous, envious, you know what I mean? They tend in the dream to symbolize whatever characteristic you associate with that person. So if it's like your enemy or a close friend, you have to take those things into account as well. An uncle or an aunt is something that's also connected to your life in a close way, right? Then let's talk about why people don't always look like themselves. This is such an interesting mystery and something that I've kind of discovered, because I have had a lot of dreams about people where I sense that it's about a certain person, but yet in the dream they look totally different, or they take on the appearance of someone else. In that case, I found that it's usually because there is very strong emotion associated with that person. Okay, so for example, if you have really a strong emotion that is associated with a certain person, like a husband or a boyfriend or someone that you really just feel strongly for, if you were to have a dream about that person, your emotions would cause you to wake up. Basically, it would wake you up, because in the dream you would be like, oh God, it'd wake you up. Just like when you have a bad dream, it wakes you up, right? You wake up frightened. It's because your emotions are now so involved in the dream that you can't stay asleep. So what God does is that he will have that person that you are strongly emotionally connected to, and he will have them look like someone else that you're maybe neutral about. And so that he can give you the dream, you can see the dream sequence, and you can get the message, and then you can understand what's going on with that person. Maybe, you have a question about how are they doing, how are they feeling, how they feel about me, what's our relationship like, right? So that's what'll happen, is that if God is trying to give you a message about that relationship, whether it's good or bad, or if it's growing or whatever it is that's going on, sometimes when there's strong emotion involved with that person, they will look like someone else. And again, usually you will find that there's something in common that they have with that person, some kind of characteristic. So anyway, I hope that's been helpful. People, one last thing I almost forgot, is that people can also, in your dream, personify ideas, okay? So, or a concept. So they can represent love, they can represent a lot of different things that are personified through a person, but they represent that idea or that concept, not really themselves. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for listening.